What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and baby, let's get into the drama of it all because we got a few things to get into and I need to clear out my phone. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So first, let's talk about SLC. So I found this information back in June and I meant to talk about it in a previous video, but like I said, I'm clearing out my phone. So let's get into it. This was posted on June the 25th by Mary Crosby's fan page. And I have referenced them before. If you go back and look at my Salt Lake City reviews for season 5, when I used to do my spicy corners in them, I talked about certain things that they posted. Now, not everything was factual, but some of the things that they posted were. I don't know if this person who runs this account has like an inside with the people on production or if they actually live in Utah, but they have dropped tea that has been true. So I will say we have to take this with a grain of salt until we see the season, but I'm leaning on the side that it might be true based off of the last sentence that they posted. But let's get into it. Again, this was posted on June the 25th and it says this. Alleged SLC news. The bad weather cousins land themselves in hot water with Meredith Marks this season, mainly Heather. The two on and off again cousins dig into the personal life of Seth Marks and find something or someone that can very well tear down the Marks family. Friend of Brittany Bateman digs into the mess as well and gets met with an unhinged Meredith. Watch season 6 coming soon to see it all play out. Hashtag RHOSLC. Now, like I said, the last sentence kind of makes me feel like this might potentially be true, only because I have done the drama video before where I talked about how a lot of people thought Meredith had quit the show and she got into it with Brittany, and they were alleging that the argument that they got into actually got physical. But Meredith and Seth came out saying that that wasn't true and that Brittany was probably the one planting stories and things of that nature. But it seems like things go down. And I will say that they were pretty much setting up for this storyline for season 6, because we did see that Meredith had an issue with how much Seth was, flying back and forth from Utah to I think like Ohio, then going to New York, and how she felt like he really wasn't making time for her. And we even had at the reunion where there was a question posed towards Meredith. Oh, no, it wasn't Meredith. It was towards Seth, where they were like, Seth, do you have another woman in New York? So they were pretty much setting up this storyline. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out and if we do get unhinged Meredith. So moving on, let's talk about Dr. Nicole from Real Housewives of Miami. So if you don't know, Dr. Nicole decided not to return for this new season, which would be season 7 of Real Housewives of Miami. But on Sunday, there was this clip going around of Dr. Nicole doing I want to say a live or like an Instagram or a TikTok live with Dr. Tiffany Moon from Real Housewives of Dallas. And she basically said that a non-full-time cast member was having her followed and investigated. And that is, I guess, one of the reason, or maybe the real reason, why she chose not to return for Real Housewives of Miami. So let me play that clip for you guys.
And we started like putting the pieces together. We're like, what is happening? Like, why are we being followed? One of my castmates confessed to me that the other castmate had told her that she had hired a private investigator because she wanted to move from a friend role to a full-time role. And she felt like if she had this like secret, this secret, and she could like drop this bomb, that would be like the thing she needed to like level up her friend status.
That is
wild.
so wild,
Yeah.
evil, vindictive. I can't,
And that
if
was part
someone
of,
did that to me.
and so I was starting to have a lot of anxiety filming because for me, I was like, these are not my friends. Well, at least not everybody. I'm not speaking about the whole cast. I'm speaking about certain members of the cast because Julia and I were very good friends. Adriana, Gertie's one of my very, very good friends. Lisa, like I had beautiful friendships with some of these women, but some of them were really antagonistic and were really out for blood or for, this aha moment.
So with this information, a lot of people automatically assumed that Nicole was talking about Marisol. Now I like Marisol, but I could see her doing something like this. There's always been rumblings in the streets about, when she doesn't like you, she gets vindictive, she gets a little sinister, and her roots are very deep in Miami. Mama Elsa had been like in Miami before Miami was known to be the Miami that it is. And also with Marisol being leaked to like a PR company, and high profile people, a lot of people could see her doing something like this, like hiring a private investigator. There's also been like alleged like rumblings online saying that Marisol only married her husband on TV because she wanted to be a full-time housewife, but I don't know how true that is. I also don't know how true it is that Marisol wants to be a full-time housewife, because the women on Real Housewives of Miami, especially the friends of, to me, get Real Housewives like main housewife treatment, if you ask me. But with Nicole labeling certain women and leaving out the four other women, it only leaves speculation for people to believe that it is Marisol, because she named Gertie, Julia, Lisa, and Adriana being her friends, but she did not name Larsa, Alexia, Kiki, or Marisol. Now, one thing I don't like, and this has kind of always been a little pet peeve of mine when it comes to Nicole, that's why I've never really like rode for her the way a lot of the other fans have, is I feel like Nicole oftentimes just doesn't say what it is with the girls. Because as much as she wants to act like she doesn't want to be liked by them, she kind of reminds me of Monique Samuels. Like, technically to a lot of people she is that girl, she's that it girl, but there is a level of like slight desperation to be liked by the group that's there. And I'm like, girl, if it's Marisol, just put a name on it. Like, you're already outing people, saying that another friend of told you, or another cast member told you, that this person who's a friend of hired a private investigator. I would just say Marisol. You already know the fandom hates her. They booed her at the last Bravo, I think it was the Fan Fest or the last BravoCon. So you wouldn't be getting any hate if you would just say her name. But I'm wondering if Marisol is going to come out and refute the claims, or actually be like, she's lying and it's this person. Because I also saw other people saying, girl, what if it's Julia? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think Julia would do that. But then seeing the way that Julia has behaved in the past like 4 episodes, I wouldn't put nothing past that lady. But I more than likely can, if it comes out that it is Marisol, I would believe it. I wouldn't be surprised. So, just a little update. So, y'all know we're getting the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Well, someone spotted Dolores actually filming. So, it's a really short clip. It's only like 11 seconds. So, let me play that for you guys. So I guess the rumors were true that Dolores will be on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Now, in what capacity, I'm not sure, because I did see people saying that Dolores was supposed to be a friend of, that she actually knows, I think, 2 girls that are like full-time housewives on this cast. But I've also seen people say that Dolores is only supposed to be there for like 3 episodes and then bow out. Honestly, I don't think she needs to be there. I think the show might do actually well with just fresh faces without being introduced with Dolores. But I can also understand why the network would be weary and a little nervous about premiering this new show that's so similar to Real Housewives of New Jersey without having any like old faces on there. And Dolores is like one of the least polarizing of the group. Like I said, she's least polarizing. She's pretty much, she's like neutral but not neutral. Because my thing is, we always saw Dolores pretty much side with Margaret, in my opinion, but never really hold Teresa accountable. But you can't have Teresa introduce this cast, or Melissa, or like a Jennifer Aiden or a Margaret. You need a Dolores to do it. So I get why they have Dolores doing this. I also am pretty surprised. Well, not even pretty surprised. Dolores played her hand correctly, like a true Capricorn. She said, I'm going to get to this bag by any means. And that means I'm going to constantly stay in the good graces of the network. The rest of y'all can mess up y'all's situation, but not me, not Dolores Catania, not Black Dolores. So I can't even hate. So moving on, let's talk about Dr. Heavenly. Because when I tell you, when this was posted, it slightly sent the internet into a tizzy, mainly the Married to Medicine side of the internet. And I was tickled. So this was posted by the Bravo Shade Room, and it says this: Dr. Heavenly Kimes is running for Georgia State Representative in District 93, and Quad Webb is serving as her campaign manager. And it's an exclusive spread by People Magazine, and I will put the article in the description box below. But the Bravo Shade Room took an excerpt from the article and used it as the caption, so I'm just going to read that for you guys. So it says this: Dr. Heavenly Kimes officially launches run for Georgia State Representative in District 93 at People Exclusive. Our people deserve a real representation, someone who understands both the struggles and the solutions, she tells People. The cosmetic dentist and entrepreneur will launch her campaign at a July 8th rally in downtown Atlanta. Kimes says she's focused on healthcare, education, small business support, and real representation. I'm not a career politician. I'm a mom, a doctor, a business owner. I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. Kimes 54 says in a statement, I'm running to serve. I'm running to serve, and I'm ready to work. I've spent my life helping people build confidence, start businesses, and take control of their futures. She says, now I'm bringing that same passion to the state capitol. District 93 deserves someone who's not just talking, but doing. Her campaign, Kimes notes, will focus on healthcare access, economic prosperity, education reform, and small business support. Issues she says she's passionate about after years of working on the ground with patients and entrepreneurs. So I'm conflicted. I am. I will be honest. I really am. I really am. Because on one hand, if Heavenly actually is doing this and is she serious about it, and she actually enact change and positive change in her community, I'm all here for it. A lot of people were bringing up, Heavenly's behavior on the show, but then people were comparing her or saying, well, we all had Eric Adams, who, RIP to him, because that man was a politician. A lot of people, especially in the state of Michigan, spoke very highly of him when he passed away. They said he was very serious about his community and working hard to get positive change and help and resources to them. But everyone, especially those who don't live in Michigan, like myself, I know him from being like, I know you want me to die, and cussing people out at, the community meetings and the council meetings, but he enacted change. So it's like, on one hand, yeah, Heavenly's behavior is atrocious at times. It really is. It really is. She could be a gutter snipe. She can do a lot. But if she actually enacts change in her community, like, how can I hate on that when I'm not running for office myself or, trying to serve as a civil servant? But on the other hand, I do understand people being like, girl, based off of the behavior that I've seen from you, it's a no, ma'am. It's a no, ma'am, for me. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Heavenly knows how to separate because she's so great at being a dentist. People are like, she knows how to separate reality TV from her real life. But I'm like, y'all, for some people, they can't separate that. She may be able to separate it when she's on the show, and some people around her may be able to do that. But not everybody has that headspace or is in that mind frame, especially not Lisa Nicole Cloud, because she hopped into the comments and actually got on her Instagram and had a couple of things to say. But before I play that, let me play Heavenly's campaign video.
93, I'm ready and I'm walking in my purpose. I bring a unique and needed voice, a Black woman doctor under the gold dome that's powerful, that's perspective, that's present, and that's exactly what Georgia needs right now. I stand before you not as a politician, but as a mother, a wife, a doctor, a business owner, and a proud servant of this community. I'm running for state representative in District 93 because I believe this is bigger than politics. This is purpose. This is a calling from God. And when God puts something on your heart, you don't run from it. You rise up. I need you. Go to drheavenlyforgeorgia.com, make a donation. Every single dollar counts. Volunteer, tell a friend, follow and share our campaign on your social media. Let them know we're not waiting. We're moving. Let's make history together. Let's bring power back to the people, and let's go all the way to the Capitol. Thank you. God bless you, and let's get to work.
So that was Dr. Heavenly's campaign commercial. And she was not lying, or the article was not lying when they said that she was going to be holding a rally or press conference in District 93. Because while I was looking for the link for the People magazine article, I did see that Fox 5 Atlanta had a clip of her actually doing the mini rally. It wasn't a lot of people out there, but there were still people there. So let's get to Lisa Nicole Cloud. So on the Bravo Shade Room, they posted a collage of stuff. So it's titled Lisa Nicole with a message. Dr. Heavenly is running for Georgia State Representative in District 93. So part of the collage of pictures that they posted was a screenshot of Alora, who is Dr. Heavenly's daughter, screenshotting a article that speaks of Dr. Heavenly, and she circles an area. So I'll read it. It says Lithonia District Representative, I think it's Doreen Carter, who was sworn into office in 2015, could be facing challenges from Dr. Heavenly Kimes, a dentist and one of the stars of Married to Medicine on Bravo. The reality TV show follows the lives of Kimes and other women medical professionals in Atlanta. So then they posted Lisa Nicole Cloud's comment where she said, "The person you see on TV is definitely who she really is. Trust, I know firsthand who she really is as a person." And that may be true, but also, like a lot of people pointed out, Lisa Nicole Cloud, we haven't forgotten them COVID testing and how much of a wash job you did with that. So if I was you, I would be quiet. Okay. Now, I do understand why people would be weary of electing Dr. Heavenly for district representative. I do. I'm not even going to sit here and say that people are hating. People have valid complaints. They do, and concerns. And I think it doesn't help that we know that they're filming Married to Medicine currently right now. On top of that, Quad being her campaign manager also has people kind of side-eyeing this situation. But we won't know until we actually see how it plays out and if she really does take this seriously. Like I said, there have been people who behave similar to Dr. Heavenly that have done good for their community. And I can't really judge too harshly because I'm not running for no state office or local office. But there's that. So let's move on. So let's get into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tea. So it looks like Ericka has a new man, and thank the heavens, because when next season comes around, I don't want to hear nothing about Tom. Tom is in jail. We can move on. I want to move on, okay? But there was a picture going around, and somewhat it was kind of slightly going viral because people were like, not Ericka got a new man. But this is what was posted by the U.S. Sun and by ways of the Bravo snark side. So it says this: Ericka Jayne's new man, RHOB star Ericka Jayne, holds hands with ex-Army Specialist Ops boyfriend nicknamed Shrek on LA date. So it says the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Ericka Jayne, has been spotted holding hands with a famous retired U.S. Army Specialist Operations Major by the name of John McPhee. It says the U.S. Sun has exclusively obtained photos of RHOB star Ericka Jayne, 53, getting very close to the 54-year-old Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran who is also called Shrek while running errands in Los Angeles on July the 7th. I mean, good for her. Like I said, I don't want to hear nothing about Tom. anymore. He's in jail. Can we move on? Like, at least she got a new man. He's basically the same age as her, just a year older than her. They look like they go together, if you ask me. So it seems like Ericka has found new love, but that can't be said for Miss Denise Richards because it looks like her and her husband of 6 years are actually calling it quits. So let's get into this. So this was posted by Page 6 and it says this. It says Denise Richards' husband, Aaron Pierce, files for divorce after 6 years of marriage. It says Aaron has pulled the plug on his nearly 7-year marriage to Denise Richards. The actor filed for divorce from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum in Los Angeles on Monday. According to court documents obtained by Page 6, he lists July the 4th as their separation date and cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. It goes on to say, the self-employed businessman who revealed he has not earned income since shutting down his wellness company last year claims that his and Richard's monthly expenses totaled to $105,000. As part of his community and quasi-community property declaration, Aaron requests that he and Richards, 54, divide their Smoke and Mirrors entertainment company 50-50. He stated in his petition that he and Richards have no minor children together. His rep did not immediately respond to Page 6 request for a comment. Aaron was once in the process of adopting the Wild Things star 13-year-old daughter Eloise. He is an amazing dad, Richards gushed during a 2019 interview on The View per People. He is amazing with my daughters and he is adopting my youngest, so it's really great. The actress initially adopted Eloise in 2011. Aside from Eloise, Richards also shares two daughters, Sammy Sheen, 21, and Lola Sheen, 20. She was married from 2002 to 2006 to Charlie Sheen. Aaron, meanwhile, previously wedded Desperate Housewives Nicolette Sheridan in 2015, but called off the marriage a year later. Richards and Aaron, who tied the knot on September the 8th, 2018, worked together on several business endeavors, including TV personalities' OnlyFans accounts. During a 2022 interview on SiriusXM Jeff Lewis Live, Richards explained that her now estranged husband photographed a lot of her content. Aaron also made several appearances on RHOBH and starred on Richards' latest series, Denise Richards and Her Wild Things. It says, despite Aaron's listing his Richard separation date as 4th of July, the latter seems to be in good spirits the day as she posted a patriotic bikini photo via Instagram. Red, white, and a little bit of ooh la la, she captioned the spicy snap. And that was the end of it, you guys. So there was another Page 6 article that pretty much was breaking down how they spend $105,000 monthly. And the title of the article basically says that they spend $25,000 a month on food and $20,000 on clothes. And I feel like this has to be an exaggeration from Aaron because this doesn't even make sense because neither Aaron or Denise being portrayed on their own reality show and being on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ever gave that they spend that much money. But this is how it goes. It says Denise Richards sure knows how to make a dollar and spend a dollar, according to her newly estranged husband, Aaron Pierce. It goes on to say, as part of his divorce petition, which he filed in Los Angeles Supreme Court on Monday, Pierce, 49, claims Richards, 54, earns more than $250,000 per month via her OnlyFans account, TV appearances, and brand deals. By contrast, the self-employed businessman who had closed down his wellness company, Quantum 360 Club, in 2024, revealed he has not made income since. So it goes on to say that Aaron went on a breakdown the former couple's monthly expenses as a family of 3 as Richard's adoptive daughter, 14-year-old Eloise, lives with them. It says Aaron claimed he and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum spends a total of $105,000 per month, with $25,000 of that going towards food and $20,000 of that going towards clothes. According to Aaron, he and Richard's rent costs $18,000, which doesn't include the $8,000 they spend on utilities, $5,000 they spend on maintenance and repairs, an additional $5,000 they spend on laundry and cleaning. Their phone bills are $500, while expense associated with their cars and transportation is $1,500 per. It states he also claims he and Denise Richards and her Wild Things star dropped $10,000 on groceries and household supplies, $15,000 on eating out, and additional $15,000 on entertainment, gifts, and vacations. As for childcare, Richards allegedly forks over $7,000. It's worth noting that Aaron, who requested spousal support, listed zero spent on insurance, savings, and investment and charitable donation. He also requested that he and Richards divide their Smoke and Mirrors entertainment company 50-50. Reps for Richards did not immediately respond. Page 6 request for comment. The two said I do in September of 2018, and it's basically rehashing everything, how Denise has 2 other daughters with Charlie Sheen, and so on and so forth. If you ask me, this is a money grab from Aaron, because even the breakdown didn't make sense to me. I think the only numbers that I was like, yeah, I can see that is the $7,000 on childcare. They live in California. You got insurance, depending on if she goes to private school, clothes and all. That makes sense to me. I could see you having to pay that much money for a 14-year-old child. Vacations being like 15,000. Yeah, depending on where y'all are going, but spending $10,000 on groceries monthly, that is a lie. That's a lie. And then, rent being $18,000, I could see that too. And then maintaining your household and stuff. But something about this just gives like Aaron doesn't want to work, finding out that he wants spousal support. And I don't think men that want spousal support are necessarily weak, depending the circumstances. It depends on the circumstances. But this is giving, I don't want to work. I've dissolved my companies. You're going to take care of me. And I don't think that's going to happen, because there is like this blind item going around saying that $250,000 that allegedly Denise makes and like OnlyFans bookings and all that stuff, she only actually makes 10% of that on OnlyFans. Like, she does not make that type of money. So I don't know who or what Aaron thinks is going to happen, but he's not getting that lady's money like that. You're going to have to go get a job, sir. But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in the comments below and share your thoughts. Subscribe and like the video. All right, y'all. And I'm out. Deuces.